Do you want to have a power up in your mom life? Like when you think about watching your kids play Mario, they get this star, maybe you play it with them, you hit the star, and all of a sudden you're shiny and bright and running around super fast, jumping extra high and resilient, and nothing can take you down. That is what keto is to my mom life, and I want to teach other moms how to do that. But what is keto? I think that's where we need to start. If you don't know who I am, I'm Amy. I am the founder of She Ketos, and I help moms live the life that they want to live and build it on a foundation of good nutrition, because I believe if you want your brain and your willpower and your energy and your joy and all those things to be there in your future, then the best way to do that is to start with nutrition. And for me, it's been keto. It's always been keto. And for my clients who try keto, they also love the way they feel in ketosis and how it allows them to have more sanity, more peace, more calm, be more playful with their family. Ketosis is simply, it's a metabolic state. Your body can either burn sugar and carbs for fuel, or it can burn fat, whether that's external fat that you eat or the fat on your body. The really cool thing about being in ketosis and using fat for fuel is when you don't have food to eat in that moment and your body is needing energy, it just taps into your own body fat and turns that into the energy that your body needs. So you don't get hunger the way you used to. You don't get hangry. It's not this urgent need to eat. So you have this clean source of energy that your body can provide you in between meals. I learned about keto when I was going through infertility. Me and my husband did 100 days of super strict keto in order to become pregnant and have our kids. And after our kids were born, I had this vision of the type of mom that I was going to be. And I realized that is not who I was being. And I needed to find my way back to me to be able to be the mom that I wanted to be for them. One of the things that I had to do, a really big thing, was figure out how to make keto something that fits in my life as my normal, as my most of the time. And when I did that, it took some work, but when I did that, I was able to start to show up differently for my kids, more like how I wanted to show up. And I continued to get support and work on the emotions and the feelings and all the other things that were kind of interfering, but on a foundation of ketosis. And that is why, I want you so bad to learn if keto is the tool for you to be able to do that too. By the end of this video, you will know how to keto, because right now you might be thinking, yeah, but Amy, how do I do that? What are the steps? How do I do it? Maybe you've tried it before and you didn't get to this place where you felt successful or good. And I'm going to teach you my proven method to get into ketosis and not suffer through it. Maybe a little, not really though. You can do it a lot easier than some of the other people teach you how to do it. So we know now that ketosis is a metabolic state in your body. It's burning your own body fat and other fats for fuel. How do we get there would be the next question. How do I get my body to do that? Because the reality is, if you are consistently eating carbohydrates, you are not there, honey. You are not even close. Your body will not want to tap into fat for fuel. It will send you to the fridge. It'll send you to the store before it taps into its own body fat for fuel. What happens when we do decide this clear decision that we no longer want to be carb fueled, this is important, and you put the brakes on the introduction of carbs into your body, as in you stop eating them, and even when you start running out of energy and you're feeling sluggish and tired, you still don't go and eat the carbs, you just trust the process. Eventually, usually around 3 days in, your body is going to kick into ketosis. And all of a sudden, day by day, you're going to start to feel the power up kicking in. You're going to start to feel a little vibration of extra energy. You're going to feel your appetite normalizing and your hangry going away. Your mood will start to regulate as you come off the blood sugar roller coaster and the ketones start amping up. It is so amazing. It can be a little bit rocky, which is why I want to teach you how to do that. And it's not just as simple as saying, stop eating carbs, period. It's not that simple. Here with me, Amy Hume, we don't just believe that you need to get into ketosis. The other thing that is essential is that you give your body what it needs in order to feel good. Because just being in ketosis might mean you lose weight, which for some people is really exciting. But if you really want all of the mental health benefits, the energy benefits, the power up benefits, then you also need to do this from a place of being well fed. And you can do weight loss and well fed at the same time. I understand what your body needs at its core, its baseline, in order to do all the things it needs to do in a day. And in my meal plans, I'm not sure if you've seen them, maybe that's even why you're here, I make sure you get all of those nutrients that your body needs in order for you to feel good. Well fed, well in ketosis. And just so we're clear, it is worth the effort to get through the first 3 to 5 days of the struggle to get to the place where you have more energy, where you have that lower appetite and you have the more balanced mood. Oh my gosh, the more balanced mood. Brain clarity, the brain fog just begins to lift. So powerful. And all you need to do is just find enough willpower to push you through 5 days. Because once you get there and your body kicks into fat burning mode, it will become so much easier to stay there. Okay, so let's go get into ketosis now. Let's do the thing. Number 1, I need you to just cut out carbohydrates. And what are carbohydrates? Quite simply, they are anything that turns to glucose in your bloodstream. So that's breads, pastas, potatoes, corn, and then everything that's made of sugar itself. There's actually quite a few carbs in this world. Oatmeal and bran flakes, also carbohydrates, cookies, donuts, you name it, carbohydrates. What we're looking for you to be eating instead of those things are non-starchy vegetables, meats and proteins, and good, healthy fats. When I talked about what your body needs in order to thrive, all of your happy hormones and neurochemicals are actually built on fatty acids from good quality fats and amino acids from protein. So making sure that you get enough of those is going to be essential to you feeling as good as possible. Now, when we're creating our plan for the first 5 to 7 days, it's really important that you do not think about weight loss. You do not think about caloric restriction. The only thing that I want you to be counting is carbs. And generally speaking, for most of us, less than 30 a day is great. Most of us don't have to push down to below 20. And some women are in ketosis closer to 50. This number is kind of personal, but as a rule of thumb for getting started, you're shooting for around 30 grams a day of net carbs. That's the limit that you're setting. And then when it comes to fats in this first week, there should be zero limit. In fact, there are recipes out there for things called fat bombs. Essentially, they're a package of fat that taste better than a stick of butter. And in your first week, especially if you feel hungry, fat bombs are the direction that you need to go. I'm not telling you not to eat. In fact, if you have hunger in your first week, eat something immediately that is on plan. Another thing that I like to have on hand is I just make a bunch of bacon. I'll make a bunch of bacon. I'll make it nice and crispy. You can crunch it up into little chips, bacon chips. It's a great thing to have on hand. Having meat sticks on hand, cheeses on hand, things that are within like that almost zero carb category that as soon as you feel a little bit of hunger, you can put in your body. Because if you ignore that hunger, you are going to find yourself within the hour probably snacking on something that isn't going to let your body go into ketosis. So it's better for you to just eat 3,000 calories of low carb foods until your body goes into ketosis. And then you can just trust that once you're in ketosis, your appetite is going to level out. The second thing that you absolutely need to know in doing keto is that you are going to be dropping inflammation like crazy. You're going to be releasing water, and with that, you're going to be releasing electrolytes. Electrolytes are basically minerals that your body uses to move water into cells. So if you don't have enough of those, you can struggle with muscle pain, fatigue, headaches, exhaustion, grumpiness, and essentially that transition into keto is going to be much more difficult. And for some people, if they're already really low in electrolytes and you're not supplementing them, it can become even dangerous because your muscles all need electrolytes in order to bring in water, and our heart is a muscle. So when do you take electrolytes? If you're going into ketosis, you're going to wake up in the morning and you're going to take a scoop of electrolytes. After lunch, a scoop of electrolytes. After dinner, a scoop of electrolytes. And if at any point over the first 7 days you get a headache, you get fatigued, you get grumpy, or you get hungry, you need to also take another scoop of electrolytes. Now, once you get through the first 7 days, I do recommend you continue to take electrolytes and keep your water intake up, but you can go down to a scoop or two a day. It is really in that initial phase when we're dropping a ton of water. For some of us, if you have a lot of inflammation, that could be 2 weeks that you are taking a lot of electrolytes before things normalize. But this is so important. And when we talk about the keto flu, it is not so much that we're not eating carbs anymore. It is more that we're running out of electrolytes. That is what that dehydration, that's what the keto flu is. There is a moment that cannot be avoided when you switch to ketosis, where your body is out of carbs and isn't making enough ketones yet in order for you to have a great amount of energy and just take a nap. If that happens, if you can take a nap, take a nap. Just try and rest. Give yourself fat. Another option that is really good for you in this moment is to take coconut oil or an MCT oil, because your body will immediately turn that fat into ketones. Like immediately, it just switches it into ketones. So it can give you a boost when you're hitting that wall. The other option is you go and eat carbs. Again, if you're not aware that this is going to happen, that your body is going to have a bit of a freak out, you might find yourself eating carbs. But if you know this is going to happen, you can see it for what it is and you can handle it appropriately. Some other tips in the first week: I don't want you to expect yourself to work out hard. You shouldn't work out hard, actually, because that transition stage is pretty stressful. So we don't need to add more stress to the situation by doing any hard workouts. And honestly, it might take a couple weeks. If you are somebody who works out and knows how their body performs, you're going to see a decrease in that performance initially as your body adapts to the new fuel source. As far as fasting goes, as you're going into ketosis, don't fast the first week. Again, I cannot stress this enough. Eat when you're hungry. Eat fat and protein when you're hungry. Your hunger hormones will normalize and actually become more normal than they've probably been in a long time. And you'll get to experience what real hunger is versus blood sugar hunger, which is what most of us are feeding right now. In 1 to 2 weeks, you'll just start to really notice that your hunger signals go way down. But right now, eat when you're hungry. So how do you figure out your carbs? You might be like, okay, Amy, I get it, but how do I know how many carbs I'm eating? And the number one thing that I recommend doing when you are new to ketosis, and I don't recommend you do this for forever because it can make some of us a little bit insane, is to have a food tracking app like Chronometer. I'll also link that below. And put everything you eat into it. That is the only way you are going to learn what is in foods, how many carbs are in foods, because sometimes there is a ton of carbs hiding in things. Like when we have syrup, sure, we know it's super sweet. We don't think about how much sugar is in it. But when we have ketchup, we don't think of ketchup as sweet, but the reality is that it has also quite a bit of sugar in it, and we can miss that. So pay attention, read food labels, use like Chronometer or MyFitnessPal, whatever app you're comfortable with, and see what's in food. Again, the only thing we're really worried about is keeping those carbs below 30 and eating enough fats and proteins. In general, I recommend that women start at 120 grams of protein and 120 grams of fat. You can tweak those numbers later, but ultimately that's what's going to get you well fed into a place where your body and brain are getting the nourishment that it needs. I'm also going to link below. I have a get started guide for you to download, so I will also have that linked in the description below if you want some more details, a food list, that sort of thing. That will be linked below. And I just want you to remember that if you can just give yourself 5 days, just say for 5 days, I'm going to commit to this. In 5 days, you'll start to see that I'm right, that keto can let you feel way better than you feel right now. And you'll start to have more energy, and you'll start to have more balanced moods, and you will see the impact that good nutrition can have on your body. And not just good nutrition, I'm going to say optimal nutrition and the impact it can have on your body and your mind. Make sure before you go to comment any takeaways or any questions that you have that I maybe didn't answer in this video, so I can make sure that you have the information that you need to be successful. And make sure that you subscribe to me here and the other social media things if you're a mom who wants more support and motivation as you figure out how to build this life that you want, that you dream of, on a foundation of good nutrition. See you next time.